It's an honor to be with Jokins, even if not in Joka. So thank you so much, Shalini, Ayushi, and Tanishka, and everybody involved in putting this together. It also feels really weird to hear one's own biod. So I think we'll have to find different ways of doing this. Um, so I do want to share some pictures. So pardon me if it's not just a talk a little bit. So when I was about 8 or 10 years old, a friend of my Appa's came visited us in Madras from Delhi. For me, living in Madras at that time, Delhi was this exotic place with Red Fort, Rashtrapati Bhavan, and Taj Mahal. No, I didn't know where Taj Mahal was, but it was all way up north at that time to me. He gave me his visiting card and it had 10 degrees against his name. I remember gazing at it with wonder, and after he left, the introverted me still found courage to tell my appa, I want to have 10 degrees after my name. Well, that didn't happen. It only took 3 degrees for me to know the difference between education, being educated, and learning. And as the gray hairs abound today, and not necessarily the gray cells, I realized that learning is lifelong. When I was 38, my kids, in a sort of a reverse parenting mode, took me to task and said, You keep pushing us to try new things. Why don't you learn swimming? So there I went with my heart in my mouth, butterflies in my stomach, and I go to this class, a private swimming class, and my class was right after that of a 6 month old baby who was learning swimming too. And I'm pretty sure I screamed and I panicked a lot more than that kid. But at the end, I did manage to swim the width of the pool and felt pretty tickled about that. When I turned 40, I gifted myself tennis lessons. After having watched the sport from the days of John McEnroe and Vijay Amritraj and Ramesh Krishnan, I decided to finally learn with a coach. Playing tennis totally transformed me, occasionally bringing out the competitive spirit, but it also helped me enjoy the game, understand the nuances, and making friends in the process, especially when I was in a new country. I now have a lifelong friend and a soul sister who lives in South Africa, but we are joined together by our mutual love for our boy Nadal. I was asked, why are you so passionate about playing tennis now? Are you going to play at the Veterans Wimbledon? No. I take inspiration from Martina Navratilova, whom many of you might not even know, but is a tennis superstar. Take my word for it. She was asked by a reporter how she felt when she was playing at 48. And she replied, The ball does not know how old I am. So you only need to stop yourself from stopping yourself. And every game, sports, business, and even life is actually played on a 6 inch ground, the space between your ears. And age is definitely just a number. So, what happened to that dream? That dreamy girl who thought that she would have 10 degrees after her name? Well, by the time I was in senior school, I wanted to also add to be on the cover of Business India, which was the popular business magazine at that time. Well, that didn't happen. I just moved from sitting on a branch to becoming a branch manager initially. Sorry for that bad joke. And now I am the chief everything officer at my company. And the transition from finance, banking to setting up two companies and getting into organizational consulting has been very rewarding. My sister and I normally talk like how 250-year-olds end up doing, and we were describing what our career has been like. And I said that it's been like a river. Sometimes the opportunities have come from unexpected places. Some of the sources have been unknown. Sometimes it's been a trickle, sometimes it's been a torrent. And sometimes, like the river, my career went silently underground, like the time I was in Bahrain raising my two kids. Sometimes they come together as a confluence. They pass through mountains, they pass through plains, broad, narrow. But what I find immensely fascinating is that they are always in motion like the river, moving slow, moving fast, moving steady until they find their destination. It also shaped itself to focus me more on the work that I do, on being more human at work. going beyond numbers and having that big, hairy, audacious goal of helping leaders and teams harness storytelling and turn up 100% human at work. And I've always felt that I've had these two characters on my shoulder, the accountant and the human, and as if they were not, luckily, not at war with each other, no devil and angel there. They're very well integrated into my work. And over the last couple of decades as a consultant, I've worked from home or my home office. So during COVID, work from home was not anything different. And over the last 3 months, that converted to work from anywhere, balancing visiting family in India, in the US, and work amidst all the travel and constraints, being conscious of all the regulations and the pandemic. Initially, I did start out thinking, oh, I would need stable power, I need stable internet, I need a great desk, I need that perfect ring light and the lighting so I can focus on the conversations. But as time went on, this also led to assembling various contraptions. There was a time when I put a small stool on top of my table to hold the laptop because I wanted to have a standing session. I used a sliding door to hold the iPad and used an ironing board as a standing desk. And I'm sure this is true for all of you who has piled up books to get the height of the laptop right. But it also helped me focus on making better use of what was already there instead of trying to buy new tools. Adam Grant in his book Think Again talks about habits audit. In a turbulent world, there's another set of cognitive skills that might be mattering more, the ability to rethink and unlearn. And that talks to my journey in pottery, and making pottery just taught me that. I'm a left-hander. I remember my day one on the wheel when my shifu, which is the teacher, said, and I asked her, so you're a right-hander, you're showing me how the wheel works from your perspective. What adjustments do I need to make? I vividly remember her reply, you've never worked on the wheel before, so how does it matter? Learn it the way the right-handers would do. And that was a great lesson for me to unpack what I had carried and learn without bias. And the even bigger lesson for me was, if you're shackled to who you are now, you can't recognize and reach for what might come next. And we keep unveiling a lot of these insights about our brain and our understanding about how it works. Our brain has a delete button. Our brain is also like a garden. Seeding, farming, and pruning leads it to be having a better brain garden. We have to keep pruning because we need to create room for new thoughts, information, and new ideas. So Mary Kondo your brain. Keep things that spark joy for you. What you feed grows. So doing something more and doing more of something helps build your skills around it. Sleep well, rest and rejuvenate. And I know I'm telling this to students who probably are used to putting all-night-outers. In high school and college, there's always an emphasis on learning and using big words. I think I got a lot of full marks in school and college because I successfully simplified simple arguments. But the real life after school, you realize how useless that part of the education is. Knowing big words and even fancy Latin words or using complex language is neat. But basically, smart people are those who can make the complicated simple while preserving the nuance. And it is a hip pocket skill, as Indra Nooyi always says, which is what I'm trying to do today as storyteller, using business storytelling as a way to drive outcomes so you can create messaging which is simple, memorable, sticky, and impactful. And over the last 30 years, we've moved houses and countries. When you reach a new place, the place can be really overwhelming. We have our own list of things to settle down, and equally it is important to keep in mind that you need to carry on connecting with the people and the community. And it's only then can you find what you're looking for and make space for those little footprints that you leave behind in the lives of those around you. And that ties up with my work that I do with the ethnic minority community in Hong Kong through Empower, through LRC Charitable Foundation, and in various mentoring programs. As Miku Hirano said, fixating your dream with your current mind and ability is really limiting yourself. So that's why I constantly update my dreams. And as I grow and evolve and dream, so do my dreams. And just one last thing for everybody, especially because we are all perfectionists here, let go of the perfectionist mindset. Be like Apple, release at 80% and keep sending updates. I wish you all the very best in life and in your careers, and I look forward to hearing from the others. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a wonderful